2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, it's the 6th of October and it's National Noodle Day. And a big happy birthday to Ian Griffith, Jordan Matter, LeBron James Jr. and Jazz Jennings.
7.
It's been a stormy few days for the Prime Minister, who vowed to get Britain through the tempest in her Tory party speech.
I have 3 priorities for our economy: growth, growth and growth.
Liz Truss insisted everyone will benefit from her economic policies, saying she'd had to make difficult but necessary choices. The PM was accused of throwing Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng under a bus earlier this week by saying the decision to cut income tax for the richest was made by him and not the Cabinet. But at the Tory party conference in Birmingham, she threw her support behind him.
But it's right that interest rates are independently set by the Bank of England and that politicians do not decide on this. And the Chancellor and I are in complete lockstep on this.
But the speech didn't go totally to plan, as she was interrupted by Greenpeace protesters. Rebecca Newsom was one of them and told Sky News they needed to take a direct message to the Prime Minister.
Who voted for this? Who voted for what Liz Truss and her Cabinet are trying to roll out across the country?
Well, Truss may have angered people by walking off stage to their hit Moving On Up, but at least her speech seemed to go down well with her Cabinet. Health Secretary Therese Coffey said every department in government would be aligned with the PM's growth plan. But is there still some healing to be done with her MPs? Business Secretary Jacob Rees-Mogg thought Truss gave a very unifying address.
I don't think we are divided. I think the support for that speech was overwhelming. She set out clear Conservative policies. She is pro-growth. This was a really proper Conservative speech, which will be very unifying.
But former Culture Secretary Lord Vasey says it's all been a bit of a mess.
They can't take any successes from this week. I mean, let's not beat about the bush. It's been a terrible conference. It was a mixture of depressing and black humour. What they can take from this week, I guess, is that it was a disaster and they cannot allow things to carry on like this.
But what's it done for our opinion of Liz Truss? Well, she's already more unpopular than Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson ever were. Over to YouGov's Patrick English.
Liz Truss now sits already at minus 59. Three quarters of the public have an unfavourable opinion of that.
Liz Truss underlined Britain's support for Ukraine in the war against Russia on Wednesday, telling her party, "We will stand with our Ukrainian friends however long it takes." It comes as the family of Irishman Rory Mason confirmed the 23-year-old who enlisted in March has been killed while fighting for the country. Independent Russian media outlet Agentstvo has reported that Russia's lost over 4,000 square kilometres of occupied territories in the last week alone. Major John Spencer told Times Radio Ukrainians have liberated more in the last month than the Russians had seized in 7 months of their illegal war, but we're not at coup level with Putin.
I mean, not a single nation has come out in support of this sham referendum annexation of another country's territory. I mean, he has no friends. He's a rogue nation on the verge of becoming a failed state.
Protests are continuing in Iran over the death of Mahsa Amini in police custody. The 22-year-old was arrested by Iran's morality police for allegedly breaking headscarf rules. A girls' school in the country brought a member of the Iranian Basij resistance force to speak to students, but it was far from a warm welcome as they took off their headscarves and demanded he get lost. Meanwhile, women have been filming themselves cutting their hair in support of Iranian women and girls who've been killed in the protests. And Swedish MEP Abir Al-Salani cut off her ponytail during an EU Parliament speech.
Until the women of Iran are free, we are going to stand with you. Jian, Azadi, women, life, freedom.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Chelsea in Champions League action and the producers of James Bond on casting the new 007. Right after this. Welcome back.
3,
In Champions League action on Wednesday night, Man City walked away with a 5-goal win against Copenhagen, Real Madrid won 2-1 against Shakhtar Donetsk, and Chelsea outclassed AC Milan with a 3-0 win at Stamford Bridge. Booking their place in the knockout stages, Chelsea's third match under new manager Graham Potter saw them outplay the European giants with goals from Fofana, Aubameyang and Reece James. Potter spoke after the match and said it was a good game for the team.
Started off a little nervous, but then you saw the appetite of the players. The goal was important, I thought, the first goal. We had to start a little bit on the back foot in the second half, but suffered a little bit, which is good. And then, obviously, to score the second goal gives us a bit of a breather. But overall, can't complain. Clean sheet, 3 goals. Great personality of the players, really good.
60 years since the first James Bond film Dr. No had its world premiere, 007 producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson have been discussing what's next for the iconic character. Dame Shirley Bassey, Garbage and Becky Hill performed at a special Royal Albert Hall charity concert on Tuesday to mark the anniversary, and the documentary The Sound of 007 on Prime Video is celebrating all the Bond theme tunes. Barbara and Michael told BBC Breakfast the latest instalment in the franchise will reflect a new era, but of course, no spoilers on who's going to take over from Daniel Craig.
Well, he's always, his whole thing is service. Service for, it was Queen and Country, and now it's King and Country, so it won't change.
And how is the search going?
It's not going just yet.
Why not?
We have a lot of work to do before we start looking for casting the role.
The trailer for Jennifer Lopez's new rom-com shows a beach wedding that's far from ideal, as the guests are taken hostage by terrorists. Darcy, Jennifer Lopez and Tom, played by Josh Duhamel, set about fighting off the mercenaries with some hilarious consequences and questionable tactics, including a stiletto. Jennifer Coolidge and Lenny Kravitz are also cast in Shotgun Wedding, which gives the phrase "till death do us part" a whole new meaning.
We got you a gift. It's your something borrowed. Brings you good luck. Except for Uncle Greg, who ended up decapitated on that forklift. But that's not the knives' fault.
Oh, someone just left that in the bathroom.
You invited your ex? Looks like he's leading a porn safari.
Oops, he forgot to button his shirt all around.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.